Everyone called my friend a coward when he broke his little brother's heart, but they had no idea what he was hiding. My friend Allan grinned as he got ready to jump. I shouted at him, reminding him that he was only 15 and no bet was worth his life, but he refused to listen. He crouched down and launched himself off the school roof, landing feet first in the swimming pool. We thought he was done for until he swam up and yelled, "Hand over the $50. Everyone watching cheered, even when the principal suspended him for a week for that little stunt. Allan came back a hero. Everyone knew his name after that. Teachers called him reckless and irresponsible. One even warned he'd die young if he stayed so hard-headed. But he'd always say, "Life's too short to be scared of anything," words he'd regret later. Allan became even more of a daredevil in junior year. During spring break, there was a 40-foot cliff everyone talked about jumping off, but most people backed out at the edge. Not Allan. He walked up, looked down once, and dove like it was nothing. He plunged deep into the water and vanished. The rest of us stood there, frozen, shouting his name for 9 whole seconds until he surfaced, laughing and calling us to jump too. His Instagram started filling with insane adventures: skydiving, bungee jumping, cliff diving, racing his motorcycle on empty roads. Even when he broke his arm skateboarding down a hill that cars struggled to climb, he just laughed while the paramedics lifted him into the ambulance. Soon, he began uploading videos on YouTube doing crazier stunts, and people loved it, especially his little brother Andy, who watched every video over and over, copying his skateboard tricks and parkour moves in their backyard, saying, "I'm gonna grow up brave like Allan." But things got strange at Andy's birthday last summer. Their parents took the whole family to Six Flags. Andy was thrilled, bragging he was finally tall enough for the big kid rides with his fearless brother. He was especially excited about a ride called Thunder Mountain, which wasn't even that scary compared to Allan's usual stunts. But when they got to the gate, Allan froze. His face turned pale, and sweat rolled down as he stared at the ride. "I'll wait here," he said, gripping the rail tight. Andy thought he was joking. This was the guy who jumped out of a plane for fun just a month ago. He tugged Allan's arm, trying to get him to come, but Allan made excuses. "I feel sick. I ate too much funnel cake. This one's for kids." Andy rode alone, while Allan sat on a bench by the exit. People passing by stared, wondering why an 18-year-old was too scared to ride with his little brother. Andy got off trying not to cry. He didn't understand why Allan had ditched him. After that day, Allan changed completely. He drove to school 20 miles under the limit, getting honked at by angry drivers. He skipped our annual cliff jumping trip, the one he used to plan every year. When we asked why, he just said he wasn't feeling it. Then a friend found out he was selling all his sports gear online. The skydiving set, his motorcycle, skateboard collection, everything. His Instagram and YouTube went dark. No posts, no stories. But the worst part was Andy stopped talking to him. When his name came up, Andy's eyes filled with tears, and he called Allan a fake and a coward. It was painful watching them pass each other at home without saying a word. Allan just stayed locked in his room. One day, I went to check on him and saw him sitting in his car, swallowing pills from an orange bottle. I knocked on the window. "Dude, what's going on? You doing drugs now?" His eyes went wide. He said they were just vitamins, but I didn't believe him, especially after spotting a hospital bracelet under the seat with his name and cardiology department printed on it. His hands trembled as he finally told me. 3 weeks before Andy's birthday, I went for a sports physical. The doctor said he heard something strange in my heart. They did tests and found out I have something called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. Tears rolled down his cheeks. Any big adrenaline spike could cause a heart attack. Do you know what it's like to be told you could drop dead from excitement? Why didn't you tell any of us? Or at least Andy? I asked, frustrated I hadn't been there for him. I didn't want him to grow up scared of chasing his dreams, he said, his voice shaking. "I'm going in for surgery next month.